Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tonight is a very, very special night. The Life Gains family has extended itself to meet new members that are doing big things in the world, helping you stay entertained, motivated, ultimately helping you get those life gains. Tonight, I'm going to have a very candid interview with one of our own, Lex The Targaryen, who's going to tell us about her musical journey and what it's been like to make an album, make her own videos, and keep pursuing the ultimate goal of selling out a stage, standing next to Beyonce. And ladies and gentlemen, the Madam of Ceremonies tonight, I give you our songbird, Lex The Targaryen. What's going on, Lex?
Hey everybody, what's up, cuz?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I can't complain. How does it feel to be a budding music superstar?
Ooh, little me, little Alexis screaming on the inside, like, we did it, we did it. But
Mhm.
you take it step by step, you know what I mean? It's not, you're just starting out. So it's not like, it's a super huge platform and things like that. But the support and the streams have definitely went up since the EP has come out. So thank you, everybody, because it's just like, oh, you guys like me. You really like me. Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would be remiss on my channel if I don't give my guests a sizzle reel. And I have a very hot sizzle reel for this young lady. It is actually a snippet of one of the music videos she did. Is real hot. So if you were not sitting next to a cup of ice, I would suggest you get away from your screens right now. Here is a clip from one of her videos entitled Chucky. Take a look, and then we're going to talk to her about what it's like to do all these things in music.
This is it, world. From now on, no more Mr. Good Guy. Adi Dewey Dembella. Give me the power, I beg of you.
I used to be a good guy. Even thought I had a good guy. Caught me slipping, the nigga was from the west side. Should've been automatic, no, I'm from the best side. East side. Should've left him as bro, but he kept pushing right into his no. Fell in love with a liar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a link in the video description if you want to go and check out her music. She has a great YouTube channel. She has a rockin' Instagram. And you should definitely go check out the album. Links are in the description. Let us see where this sister's coming from and what inspires her to get this music going. So Lex The Targaryen, it is definitely my honor to have you here. And everybody that's made it in the world has a humble beginning. So tell us about your background and when did you realize you had this passion for music? You're on mute.
How professional of me.
That's all good.
But no. Literally, I have always written. So back in my day, which y'all gonna laugh at, y'all don't think it's really a day, but we used to take the standardized tests and stuff like that on the East Coast, and like you take it every year and you had the writing prompt and you had to respond to it and stuff like that. So I will always do good. And like I placed once, like I was published in my first poetry book at 16. Like I've always written. So I mean, the contrast between, in my opinion, good music and having some sort of soundbite is writing. You know what I mean? You can have people write for you, and that's cool. Like everybody, does that at a certain point in time, I believe. But it's just I write. So that, along with always wanting to sing, but like not really knowing like my range or where to stay at, like that's kind of how everything started.
So about what age would you say that it all started? Would you say 10 years old? What age did you figure out that this is what I'm going to do with myself? This is a life passion for me.
I would say like 7. Yeah, very early on. But like, with life, and then, you know, kind of just being a teenager and things like that, like it was kind of like a pause, because you always have like that influence mind, like people like, oh no, you shouldn't, A, B, C, D, F, and G. And it's just like, these are the same people streaming me today. Thank you. So it's never too late. And like in my case, like I'm glad I kind of caught it in my 20s. Not that it's ever too late, but I'm glad I like locked in before, you know, I really kind of let it drift off.
Yeah, that's real good. And sometimes people get thrown in your way as a barrier for you to understand you can always overcome. You know, so many things in life that we deem in the moment are things to stop us, are really teaching opportunities. And obviously you learn how to overcome the naysayers and get yourself out here in this music world. But having said that, talk about what the journey has been like for you since you said you started picking up in your 20s. What has that musical journey been like for you to get to where you are now?
I would say this past year is when I really kind of went into overdrive. So I would say like this past year and a half, but I started off like right after I got out the Navy, I would say like 24-ish, and kind of just had like a song or so. And like, to me, myself didn't really release it, but also like the knowledge of like streaming services and things like that weren't knowledgeable to me. And like, I wasn't at a point in time where I wanted to fully take it serious, but I needed to do that song, my very first song in the studio, to meet my producer, Hook Master Jazz, who did my whole EP. So shout out to Uncle Jazz. I love him so much.
So for people who are not musically inclined, let me say it like that, what does LP mean?
EP. So the funny thing
EP.
about it is, and y'all don't go too hard on me for this. So I asked my producer, I'm like, so being that it's only 7 songs, like, is this technically an EP? And he's like, anything less than a certain amount of minutes will be considered one. So I don't know if I like just made the cusp or just went over the cusp, but he was like, F it, we just gonna call it an EP anyway. So I was like, all right, cool. So I think it comes down to just like the matter of minutes, whether it falls in an album or EP. But if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure somebody gonna tell me in the comments. But
no, it's all good. I mean, you know, we're here to learn from you just as much as the audience can share with you. You know, your journey is totally different from someone else's, and what I know you can do is inspire that next little young Lex the Targaryen who had the same dreams and aspirations coming up. Do what you're doing. Having said that, musically, who have been some of the people that inspired you to stick with music and to evolve yourself in music?
Oh, Chris Brown. Chris Brown, let me start off by saying, in my eyes, alive, there is nobody greater. Let that be stated in my first interview, just in case anybody got a question about it. Like, let me tell you how far back I go with Chris Brown. Chris Brown came out when I was in 5th grade. He's my Michael Jackson. Like, that's my whole childhood. You know what I mean? You subtract how old you are in 5th grade to what I am now. I've known Chris Brown, you know, as a fan longer than I have not. Like, he's literally he can do no wrong in my eyes. And he's so talented, and, you know, due to past eras and things like that, like, he's really just, I feel like almost like forever tainted, but it's like, you can't deny the talent. That man is really, there's nobody touching Chris Brown. And I said what I said. Nobody, not breathing. There was James Brown, there was Michael Jackson, and there was Breezy.
Oh, period. Lex. There's a lot of people who gonna say you forgetting about Usher.
I am not. Let me tell you, you know how like I don't know if technically that's y'all generation, because I know it's my mom's, but she was able to see when Michael Jackson did the moonwalk on stage. You know what I mean? Like, you know, via TV, but that was just, Mike was Mike before, but that was the day that it just astroglided. Chris Brown's moment, and you can look this up, was when he was on stage at a club, dancing to March Madness by Future, hit a perfect backflip back into the Nene and kept pop locking. Mike wasn't doing that, no disrespect, because that wasn't his type of dance. Usher wasn't doing that in his day. There's nobody touching Chris Brown. Period. I love him. Team Breezy all day. All day. Team Breezy. I have a song dedicated to him on my EP.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, we know she is a Team Breezy fan. I think it's very clear to say that Chris Brown not only inspires her, but he motivates her. Lex, is it safe to say that he would be your wildest dream to collaborate with at some point in time in your career?
Oh, at that point in time, I don't have to make music no more. I can step back like I want to do and just write. I don't have to make. After that, my dream collab, and I know y'all gonna hear me out. Follow me on this. My dream collab is Chris Brown and Ronald Isley and myself on a song, like a modern day type of Contagious thing, because Kel locked up. So we gonna have Breezy like step into the Kel role. Listen, all I gotta do is no. I promise you, I'll do this. That's it. That is 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 my male, you know what I mean, on the male side. But my dream collab for a female would probably be it's all right, I'm gonna spit them all out actually. I definitely want to work with Nivea. That's actually my favorite female artist, period. I love Nivea so much, and I feel like people, like, if you don't know, get in tune, like Nivea all day.
Nivea that sings Headed to the Laundromat.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I love Nivea so much.
I had a chance to meet her when I was at Shaw University. Yep.
She's so gorgeous. And she's so sweet. Oh my gosh. I want to meet her so bad. But yeah, so Nivea, singer-wise, I definitely, my fellow Jersey girl, I would love to work with SZA. Like, absolutely, yeah. I feel like that would be
like her.
Jersey collab. Like, I love SZA so much. She's so gorgeous. Yes, SZA. Female, I'm gonna skip over the rappers. Like, I would love to work with, I grew up watching Nick too, so definitely Nicki. I love Asian Doll. I feel like she's so unique. I love Cardi, definitely. But OG rap collab, Kim, like, oh my gosh, like, she is, oh my gosh, people need to respect the legacy, because Lil' Kim is just that girl and been that girl. So yeah,
she was that chick, man. I think that people trample her legacy now because of the things she's done later in her career outside of the 90s era Lil' Kim. But what you can't deny, she was a lyricist, man. That chick could go hard in the paint, you know. She was a lyricist.
For sure. Love
now, having said that, and these are people that you wouldn't mind collaborating with, what are some record labels that you would desire to be signed to if you could have it your way? Give me about 5. Because there's millions of them out there. But what is your top 5 record labels you wish you could work with?
I'm gonna always say, if Chris Brown, I don't know if he's still like having artists under him, but I would definitely sign to CBE in a heartbeat. Like, definitely, I would definitely sign to Chris Brown Entertainment if he was still having artists. I don't know if he is, but I've always definitely liked the West Coast. Well, see, I got a love-hate relationship with the West Coast, but like a West Coast label, like if Snoop Dogg had a label, because I feel like he would just be such a chill, like just walk in the studio, like, hey, niece, like, did you do the record? Like, I just feel like Snoop would be so freaking cool. Shout out to Snoop. I don't know how I forgot him in my mail, like, wish list, but definitely, yes. But despite people's reaction to everything right now, definitely Quality Control, you know what I mean, for sure. And I don't know if that was 5, but we gonna say that was 5.
We could say that's plenty to get you started, you know. And probably those are the ones that are most pressing on your heart that you wish you can get with. Now, mind you, I know you'll take any great label that can help you express your artwork. But if you could pick those labels, you would go to them. So I understand where you're coming from with that. Now, I've got to ask like some of the jargony questions, because you see a lot of artists that sing but don't write their own records, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you happen to have a talent for just dropping. I've got some of your lyrics right here. She has a song called Lullaby, ladies and gentlemen. Rockabye Dragon. And I'm going to get to where some of that inspiration comes from in a minute. Hey, how you doing? I'm Lex. Just so you know, yeah, I'm up next. What? where are you summoning all these lyrics up that you put into your music?
They honestly just come to my head at random parts of the day. I write songs like puzzle pieces. It's very scattered and it just comes together when it should. And sometimes I'll take from what I thought I wanted as one song and it'll come to the other. But when I write a song, it's typically relatively fast. And it's just like, all right, I got to get the type in right now before it leaves my head. It could be in the shower. I could be at work. Like it'll just random, like a bar just pop up and it's just like, save it. Because if I forget it, then I'll be thinking about it all day. Like, dang, it was hard. What did I say? So like I've learned, because how my brain is, like just type it in notes. And like it'll just be, I promise you I had so many notes and it's just like really ridiculous. But I'll remember like that I said something and then just pull it. And then sometimes it's stuff from like 6 months ago, just as a space filler, and it works. It works.
Wow. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, you hear that? When you've got something on your brain, get it on paper or get it in a notepad somewhere. You never know when that could be the next hot lyric, the next hot script, or the next hot album cover. It could be anything. Just when you have an idea, get it on paper. She takes the emotions that run through her mind, she takes them and put them on paper. Then she waxes poetically over music. Damn, what can I say about that? Now, Lex, talk to me about how, like, when you finally decided you was going to do music, what did you do? Because it's so much you got to learn. You don't know who could take advantage of you. You don't know who to trust. You don't know where to start to get yourself out there. So how did you immerse yourself into the industry and get to where you're at now?
I would say kind of just trial and error, you know what I mean? Like at a certain point in time, I kind of just came to the conclusion, was just like, okay, if I'm going to put something out, then it has to be with jazz, because I've literally only recorded with jazz. That's my comfortability. And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know what I mean? I wanted to work with jazz. So, and he's stationed on the West Coast and he comes to the East Coast, you know, like periodically. And that's what took so long to get the EP together. So we started recording the EP, I would say around like March or April of last year, and literally wrapped up 2 days before the EP came out. So January 22nd. And the meeting was the last song, my favorite song, by the way. And I kind of just was like, when I put it out, like I wanted to just be like no skips. Like I want no skips. Like I want a song for every mode, you know what I mean? And I wanted to make sure that everything worked accordingly, you know? And not to mention, like I've learned trial and error even from releasing songs, you know what I mean? Certain songs have to be held on the album as a piece of work. A piece of like your work, opposed to releasing it because you want to release it. And, you know, talking to some emojis, like they had to explain to me, like, you know what I mean? Like you have to be the artist that you want to be as well as everybody wants to see. So certain songs could go obviously on the EP because it fits, but don't necessarily release that as a single. You know what I mean? And Chucky was my trial and error. I wanted to release a Halloween, you know, style single. And that's exactly what I did. And people love Chucky, and the streams have actually gone up since the EP came out for Chucky, which blew my mind. But yeah, like I literally just wanted to play off the double meaning of like a Chucky doll. And then like my actual nickname when I was a cheerleader in high school was Chucky because I had red curly hair, orangey red curly hair. So it was a perfect, it was a perfect toss up. Like the whole good guy, I'm a lyricist. I'm gonna give myself that pat on the back because I really do. Like it's a lot to write, and you gotta realize it's a story. I love telling stories.
Definitely. Now, talk to me about your engineer, how you met him, and how you feel like this relationship between you and him have blossomed the way you just kind of spoke about him.
Yeah, Jazz is the GOAT. Like Hookmaster Jazz, if you in Cali, on the East Coast, down south, find that man if you're trying to do music. There's nobody greater. He's been in the industry for so long. Like, you know, rest in peace, Mac Miller. He has stuff with him. About to come home soon. He got stuff with Max B. Like, he's just so diverse. Like, you know, like Asian pop bands and, you know, like older, you know, Ryan Isley age type bands. Like, he's just jazz and he's so awesome. So I actually met him when I was out in Cali, first got out the Navy. You know, it's just like, I live in California, so I'm going to be a singer. not really having a mental mindset or funds to do so at the time because you're like 24 and young in Cali. And I found him on the internet, literally Google like places, and I called him. And Jazz is like, all right, I'm gonna just let you know now. Like, he's so calm when he talks. He's like, I'm gonna just let you know now. You know, I gotta make sure you can actually sing before I get you in the studio. Like, you gotta let me, you gotta sing some. I'm just on the phone, like, and I don't even remember what I sung. But afterwards, he was like, yeah, I could work with that. All right. Come to the studio at this time. And we've been locked in ever since because I had like kind of like lost my first Instagram when I was like in the Navy. And when I made another one, I don't know what the hoo-ha made me search Jazz, but I did. And when I found him on Instagram and I was like, you know, I got to come out there to what's name. He's like, you live in Jersey. Like, I got a house in Philly. I record in Philly. And I'm like, you have to let me know the next time you're out here. And I literally did not record that session, but I pulled up on him and watched the whole session. And it's literally like Shaq, Kobe, the dynamic. Like, I don't have to ask for certain stuff or pitch certain stuff, or he knows my vocal range and he trusts my voice more than I do. I'll tell you that, because certain notes that I've hit is almost like, wait, was that you? Because it's like, he'll sit there like, no, you can do it. And we'll play it. Like, he'll pitch correct my voice to playback and go that high. And we'll, one time, I like, for actually sober, like the high note in the background, that was a 45-minute run with just the track looping until I caught it. And then and he won't say anything. He will not say anything. So don't ask, you know, he'll stop the track when it's time. 45 minutes straight. When I finally did it, he was like, thank you. Told you you can do it. And at that point, I want to cry. I'm like, I can't do it. He's like, told you. So it's like, it's that perfect, you know, Jazz.
So that's an amazing story and a good story, because oftentimes you hear about how people get taken advantage of. For someone who's new to the industry, do you recommend that the first person that they would get in their branch out tree would be a good sound engineer or a good engineer, or is there someone else they need to seek out, like a manager? Well, how would you advise someone who wants to follow in your great footsteps? Who is the first person they need to contact?
For me, I would say personally, I would just make sure you have like a record first. So like my EP is kind of like my music resume, you know what I mean? So it's like, hey, you know what I mean? It's like the written part, and then like the videos are like the visual aesthetic. You know, you kind of got to have both. So I will go make sure you got an engineer, because I don't have a manager right now. So any and everything that I did basically has been like by myself, and just kind of like reaching out, branching out, networking, and just kind of doing what I can for me, because in the end of the day, I came into this world by myself. Like, I'm a lead this bad boy by myself. So I got to make sure I trust in me and see what I can do before I bring anybody else to the table. Like, hey, this was happening before. So what is it that we're going to do to get me to a further place? Because right now, like, I'm progressing by myself. You know what I mean? You kind of got to really grow kahoonies and kind of just, even if that's not your full personality, like kind of like bark sometime, like, hey, like, this is my stuff. This is what I did. Like, whether you like it or not, you're going to respect it. And I say it all the time. Like, if somebody doesn't care for my voice, that's perfectly fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but you're going to sit me regardless, because I'm a crazy lyricist. So you're going to like me either way. You know what I mean? Like, it's you got to kind of really be like that, because if you like soft and sweet, I had to get that shook out of me when they was talking. It was like, hey, like, you can't go in there all ditzy and green. Like, we get it, you all cute and stuff, but nah, they're going to see you a mile away.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let me bring the jersey out. Like, all right, that's
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's telling you got to be confident in yourself. Even if nobody likes your stuff, it only takes one person to help you out in America. Really, legitimately. You can go through 100 no's, and then you'll get that one yes that just changes your life. And having said that, you not only took the time to put in good lyrics, great work on your vocals, but you also put in the time to do some amazing videos. What is your process to get prepared and get ready to do some of these great videos? And what I'm showing people right now is her in that Chucky video. And that's pretty dope, man. I mean, it looked like you really had to burn some sage, get your mind right. How did you get ready for this?
I kind of write my music with a video in mind. So that's why this EP is going to be a visual EP. So like throughout this whole year, you'll get a video for all 7 songs. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I write. I'm a visual writer. Like if I can't see it, I can't, you know what I mean? No matter how much it like, I can't do it, you know? So I kind of had to write it out, and shout out to the videographer. Like every video, Ant the video, if Ant ain't shoot it, it ain't shot right, please understand. So Ant and me, like, you know, it's kind of filling each other out, and it's really like a sense of me trusting him with my first video, which was actually sober, and Chucky was my second video. So a matter of, you know, like, hey, like this is my first video, like I'm a girl, like females, like in a classy way, you have to always have that balance of like sexy and sophisticated. Like I always say, like I want to give Coretta like that age group, like where it was just like you could look at her like, damn, she look good. You undressing her with your eyes. You don't necessarily got to have it all out, T-ties and stuff. Now people, you know, who do that, power to you, do whatever you want. But Lex, like we gonna keep it Khaleesi like. So I kind of always, you know, he captures me perfectly. You know what I mean? In a sense of like, ooh, like, and Ant is so receptive, and he's so freaking young. He's 21. So the fact that like he shoots and cooperates, and he's only gonna get better and better and better. And I'm so excited. We actually shot the Dragon's Lullaby video last Saturday that just passed. So I'm excited for the edit and the drop on that. That will be dropping on the 24th. So yeah, that's good stuff.
Wow. So having all this great hindsight, what do you wish you could go back and tell yourself 6 years ago? If you could get in the Back to the Future machine and go back 6 years in your life, what would you tell that young Lex the Targaryen that you know right now?
Lock in. Literally, you got it. Lock in. Don't worry about nothing or nobody. You got it, and they gonna like you. They're most certainly gonna like you, babe. Go ahead, push forward. You know what I mean? So it's literally sometimes like people like literally will be around you. Like, I'm not even gonna say hate and just having their opinion, because everybody's entitled to, you know, one. And then, you know, when you do the same thing that they recommended that you don't do and it's going well, then that's my, I told it. It's like, you no, and listening to you is what, you know what I mean? And time waits for nobody. So
no.
I don't care if you 60 and you want to go back to school, you know, you 75 and you 45 and want to, it don't matter. Like once the you know, the clock tick-tock, it don't stop. Like it's a wrap. So do what you want to do with your life. You want to be, you know, a doctor that do nails on the side and facials, an esthetician that change tires. Like, do you? Like, everybody always gonna have an opinion, good or bad. So just, your life is literally your life. You came in this world by yourself. Twins are not, like, you came in by yourself, you're gonna go out by yourself. Do you? You know what I mean? We get one. Live it up.
Wow. So now that you've gone back to talk to Lex 6 years ago,
yeah,
from where you're at right now, which has been a great journey, you've made some great gains. Where do you see yourself at 5 years going forward?
Well, that's interesting. So, honestly, in 5 years, I wanna start wrapping it up and kind of stepping back into the writing side. Like I want to like come out as me, like release some stuff and then step back really in the writing and, you know, do features here and there, you know what I mean? But like, you'll know my pen by then, you know what I mean? Like you'll know my pen, but I can see it. My tag is gonna be Grand Maester Pen. I like it. I like it.
So, fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, this young lady is a Game of Thrones savant. Do you hear me? A Game of Thrones savant. And is it safe to say that most people in your life have to be Game of Thrones fans?
Yeah, no, it kind of really ticks me off on my inside. And I have to realize that everybody's different when people go, what does your name mean? And it's like, so you live under a rock, Patrick? You don't know what's going on in the world? Okay, clearly you live in Flea Bottom. Like, what's up?
Right.
But no, I would prefer it because I love to have in-depth conversations about it. And when people are like just lost, it's really sad. You know what I mean? It kind of really bothers me. But yeah, I mean, I typically, it cracks me up because I tell my friends I baptize people into the light of the 7 because through me, like I've got 26 people to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's just like, yeah. And then like the joke is like anytime it's somebody else's be like, I got another body, 27, like Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. If I get, I'm like, Lacey, what do I look like? Not putting you on, you know, whatever naturally study. And you have to really be a part of the world to understand my love for dragons. Clearly, I belong to House Targaryen or any other house, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was kind of second nature. That's even kind of how I got the name because after a while, it was just like, when people watch it, it's just like, yeah, that's your house. That's literally your house.
Now, HBO need to start cutting you some checks. That's 26 subscriptions.
Seriously,
like
it's
on
not
the
even
real.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
They need
now, how much of your music takes inspiration from Game of Thrones? I know at least 2 songs do. How much of that is influenced in your music? And I think it's great because you're taking kind of a European culture type social culture and you're putting it into our culture. Yeah. So how much of that influence are you getting from Game of Thrones?
It kind of comes out. I actually like have like the Targaryen ring on right now. I don't know if that makes out on camera, but yeah, and I have a dragon tattooed actually on my hand. So a red and black one, just like Dro. But no, it's kind of just, it's second nature. It's literally second nature to just, it happens. I can't even shake it at this point. It's so embedded. It's not even like, you know, you can watch it and like it, but that doesn't mean you're like a fan. Like when I think of like, I think of like my relationship with Game of Thrones, kind of like how Star Wars nerds and stuff are like nerds and stuff like that. Cause it's just like, yeah, you know, it's just so relatable and so many, it's Game of Thrones. It's the greatest.
I'm going to get you out of here on this. And again, I'm so grateful you allowed me to have this interview with you to get to know you a little bit, get to know what it is that makes you tick musically, and just understand where you're trying to go. What is the last thing you want fans, future fans, and people to hear you say on this interview about what you are doing with your impression of musical artwork?
I would say it's everything that music isn't right now. You know what I mean? It's just so often that, and it's like no shade to anybody because I have everybody like on my playlist, but I don't sound like nobody. You would never turn on the radio and be like, that sounds like it's not going to happen. I'm Lex. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And although that comes across like arrogant, it's a fact. If you listen to the EP, like it doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't ring anybody. You know what I mean? And just from that, you know what I mean? I appreciate everybody and I love everybody. And I would definitely say get on a Dragon Wing now because once I take flight, we out. So
look, Dragon Wing, it looks more like you on the rocket ship. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I know 15
It was so hard to balance. It was so hard. I kept sliding down and I'm like holding all my core muscles at that point. And I'm like, take the picture. Slid right down afterwards. It was like, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, her music and links is in the video description. Lex the Targaryen, my people. Let's give this sister a hand clap. We're so thrilled to have you here. We enjoy it when you come and collab with us every now and then when you're not in the booth, when you're not doing your day-to-day job. You can find her on Apple Music. Link is in the description. She has a rocking YouTube channel with her videos. Link is in the description. And all these beautiful photos you see, all this is on her Instagram channel. Go give that sister a join. So Lex, is it safe to say that Life Gains can have you back to review some good TV in the next couple of weeks?
Oh, absolutely. Trust and believe. We got to go. We got to see what's going on with Ellie and Joel. I'll officially be back this weekend for the BMF reviews. I'm excited to see Moochie and Jay. Yeah, Life Gains will always be #1 home. I don't care if I'm on stage with Beyonce, y'all getting the tea first, the scoops first, anything ever. It's just a matter of hitting me, and y'all got it. Life Gains is family. So shout out to the whole entire Life Gains. Thank you guys so much for welcoming me into the family, and y'all are awesome, and it's the best Black podcast ever.
Well, you heard her say it, ladies and gentlemen, not me. You know, I don't need a whole lot of people to boost me up because I love me some me, but we also love us, our people. And Lex The Targaryen, we love you. We're grateful to have you. Be sure to go download her music, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out of here. Link is in the description. Don't forget to like the video. Check out the podcast. This will go up on the podcast. Go check out her YouTube channel and go and check out her LP. Till that next Sex is Hell video, we out.